We are in a city, and we meet a young man. This boy has recovered some food. His name is Pyo-woo. He is 14 years old and he was a wandering orphan who roams the land aimlessly. He has no place to sleep, and while he was thinking about a place for tonight, he is facing a person. It is a person with a rather dark figure, and who is much taller than him. It frightens him and smiles at him. And some time later, when Pyo-woo opened his eyes again, he doesn't see anything. But he was not blinded. He is only in total darkness. In the deepest darkness, without a single ray of light within sight, he wonders where he is. He also can't move at all. He wonders what happened. He remembers the man earlier, who told him that he seemed useful. But he does not know this man, nor where he is now, and why he locked up here. Pyo-woo has no idea how much time had passed. He is alone and terrified. Pyo-woo is also very hungry. He thinks that if it goes on like this, he will die of hunger. He wonders what he has done to deserve all this. But Pyo-woo does not want to give up. He uses all his strength to try to move. Better and better, he manages to move his hand, to breathe better, etc. Thanks to his sense of smell, he notices that he is under the ground. He also hears the sound of water drops. He tries to find a way out, but there is nothing. And as he was lying on the ground again, he is talking to himself. His double asks him why he is fighting so hard for a meaningless life. He tells him to give up. But Pyo-woo answers his double that he will never give up. He will use all his strength to survive. He can't die before stabbing the one he locked up here. He will take revenge on all these people. A little later, Pyo-woo wonders if it was a dream when he was talking to his double, or not. He thinks that he is really going crazy. After a while, he knows that if it goes on like this, he will really starve. Looking at the ground, he finds some kind of plants. He doesn't know if it's edible, but he has to eat. He finds it disgusting, but at least it allows him to survive a little more. Now that he has regained his strength, he tries to find out what room he is in. According to his calculations, he is in a room of about 9 square meters, and it is inevitably someone that he trapped here. At the same time, a light appears and blinds him. Pyo-woo shouts and asks if someone is there, but he has no answer. He just saw a shadow that dropped something. Thanks to his sense of smell, Pyo-woo notices that it is food, and Pyo-woo has a very developed sense of smell. He notices that there are at least 5 different foods. He thinks that it is quite rare that a person eats 5 different foods, so it's not just one person. He thinks that behind this door there must be at least 5 people. He also thinks that he is certainly not the only one locked up in these basements. He then wonders what their objective is, because they have no interest in simply locking up people they don't know. After having finished eating, Pyo-woo is full of energy. He now starts his training. We see him later. It is now at least 4 months that Pyo-woo is closed. The trap door opens every day to give him food, but he still had no contact with anyone. Little by little, Pyo-woo has adapted to the environment. He has adapted a lot to the darkness, and he can now see things moving in the basement. He even notices the insects that are there. While he thought that a centipede arrived next to him, it was in fact a snake, and the snake bites him in the arm. This causes Pyo-woo excruciating pain. He feels like his whole body is on fire. The snake's venom is actually responding in his body. Fortunately, after some time, the food arrives. He hurries to eat. He tells himself that he can't die here after all this. He notices that the snake does not attack the other insects around. Pyo-woo thinks that he and the snake are the only intelligent beings in this darkness. Sometime later, Pyo-woo feels vibrations coming from the ground. It is the door. The door is finally opened. When he goes out, he observes a corridor. After 20 steps, they arrive at the next room. Since the rooms were quite far apart, he couldn't feel their presence from that far away. Once he opens one of the rooms, the smell is nauseating. It is the smell of a rotten body. Pyo-woo then wonders if it is the same for the other rooms. At the end of the corridor, he arrives on a big door, and once he enters the door, he finally sees people. There is a boy and a girl. On the sides, there are also other doors and the people inside are also dead. The girl then asks him who he is. She tells Pyo-woo that she and the boy who is with her are the only survivors here. Pyo-woo replies that he was locked up in the next area. The girl introduces herself. She says her name is So-yeol, and the boy next to her is Song Chanwoo. So-yeol and Song Chanwoo didn't move from the room because they hadn't adjusted to the darkness of the room yet. But Pyo-woo tells them to move forward, because there are probably other similar rooms. And when they go forward, they see another room with again dead and living children. But in this room, The difference is that few people have died of starvation here. Those who did die were people who committed suicide. They had much more food than Pyeongwoo. Pyeongwoo then wonders what the purpose of those who kidnapped them was. Why do they give more food to certain areas? The other children also said that they were all locked up at about the same time. Pyeongwoo is the only one in the group who has fully adapted to the darkness, so the other children all follow him. And after a while Pyeongwoo opens the door, and the light blinds them. They are still in the basement, but there are torches. They have actually arrived in an area with quite fragile buildings. A girl also comes to meet Pyeongwoo. She says her name is Lee Min. She tells Pyeongwoo that her red pupils are beautiful. Pyeongwoo asks if her pupils are really red. He didn't notice. He thinks that it's probably because of the snake bite. When he discusses it with Pyeongwoo, she tells him that he looks different from the other children. Pyeongwoo is the only one who thinks. So Yeowoo and Song Chanwoo join them. So Yeowoo said that other children decided to form a group. She proposed Pyeongwoo and Lee Min to join them in their group. But Pyeongwoo said that he will see how the situation develops. Lee Min agrees to join them. Pyeongwoo, on the other hand, thinks that people who have been locked up alone for too long can be dangerous. He must first learn to trust to be able to join the others. For the time being, he will just observe. And only a few hours after their first meeting, groups began to form. One group was led by Song Chanwoo and So Yeowoo. The other group was led by another boy named Kang Il. Another group was led by Il Young. And the last group was led by Yeonsan. Pyeongwoo was not in any group. Everyone else wondered how he could survive. But Pyeongwoo said that he had no time to lose with these people. He starts his investigation. He wants to discover the mysteries around this area. He is sure that the building was built recently. But considering the moss on the walls, this underground space was created a long time ago. And considering the infrastructure, it must be rich people who created this. Looking up at the ceiling, he sees light. It's actually a basket coming from the ceiling. And this basket is filled with food. But all the leaders of the group said that they should share the food equally instead. And Pyeongwoo came alone on his side, because he said that he should have his share too. He starts to help himself from the basket, and then Il Young holds his hand. He tells him that nobody can take food without the permission of the group leaders. Then Pyeongwoo attacks him with a blow and gouges his eyes. He puts him on the ground and tells him to repeat what he said. Meanwhile, Il Young screams in pain. So Yeowoo tells Pyeongwoo to let go Il Young. She tells him that he can leave him. They will give him his share of the food. Later, when Pyeongwoo is eating alone on his own, he says that all this is a test. It is a test to choose the useful children, because many children will die. So Yeowoo comes to him and asks him why he is isolating himself. Pyeongwoo noticed that So Yeowoo is the most remarkable leader of the group compared to the others. So many children are loyal to her. At the same time, we see Pyeongwoo saying that he has developed his resistance to poison in this area. Now he doesn't feel any pain when he is bitten. And just as it was time for lunch, the basket arrived. But the basket, this time it was much emptier. One of the weaker children was also found dead. And so Yeowoo said then that they should take revenge. Pyeongwoo, still watching from his side, noticed that the war has started. Indeed, another very weak child in another group died. And that was only the beginning, because every night another child would die. And each child died in another group. All the children trusted each other less and less. And as there was less food, they became hungry. Pyeongwoo is still alone on his side, but he knows that his peace will not remain for long. Precisely, for children of Il Young's group arrived at the place where Pyeongwoo is. Il Young wants to take his revenge. And then they arrive close to Pyeongwoo. One of the children is bitten by a snake and falls on the ground. Pyeongwoo comes in the shadow and knocks out another child discreetly. Il Young then starts to attack Pyeongwoo. But Pyeongwoo manages to dodge all his blows. He manages to move quickly behind him. Il Young is then afraid. He starts to run away. But when he is blocked against a wall, he asks Pyeongwoo to leave him alone. He tells him to join his group. He thinks that Pyeongwoo will not be able to survive alone, so he offers him to join him. Pyeongwoo obviously refused his proposal, and he gives him a blow in the jaw, and this time he kills him. Later, the other groups found Il Young dead. They know that it was Pyeongwoo who killed him, so Yeowoo wonders how strong he is to have managed to kill 4 people alone. And even the other group leaders are impressed by Pyeongwoo. They think that he knows exactly what to do to terrify others. And now the time when food was distributed equally is over. Now, to get food, you have to kill others. And since Pyeongwoo has shown his superiority from the beginning, nobody will attack him. At the same time, a child came to see Yongsan. He tells him that there are two children in the red house, and they had some food with them, so he prepares to chase them away. And when he sees the potato that the children have in their hands, Yang San's group becomes like demons. They are completely uncontrollable when they saw the food, and when they rush to the children, many enemies come out of the house and knock them all out. They fell into the trap of another group. It was So Yoel and Song Chanwoo who set the trap. Yang San tries to protect her whole group in exchange for her life, but So Yoel refuses. She said that if Yang San was in her place, he would do the same thing. She then orders to kill all of Yang San's group. Pyo Wool, who is on the roof, observes the scene. He sees that they have used the ground to beat their opponents, and the arrangement of the buildings is very thoughtful. He thinks that the people who created this place wanted to get the children used to the layout of the buildings. They even wanted to get them used to killing. It is said that those who put them here imagined the place with the house of a clan or someone important. This way, the children will be prepared if they ever have to attack this kind of place without preparation. The people who put them here actually want to turn the children into objects that they will throw away after using them. They want to reduce their humanity to nothing. They want to turn them into murderers. We just see the children enjoying strangling and killing other children. Even So Yoel is extremely happy that she has succeeded in trapping them all. Li Min, on her side, remains rather perplexed. She notices that all her group got used to kill, but she on her side, she is not able to kill as them. Today, when the basket comes down, there is only the group of So Yoel and Song Chanwoo, so they can have food as much as they want. And as the basket is going down, Pyo Wool looks scared. So Yoel wondered why he was making that face. Pyo Wool had actually noticed that it was not just food. Indeed, masked ninjas come out of the basket. The ninjas start to attack the children. Pyo Wool says that he suspected that they were going to attack them, but it happens much sooner than expected. But for the moment, he must resist. He must not move because that would only draw attention to him, and for the moment he has to remain discreet. And we just see other masked men who seem to be the leaders of the ninjas. When Pyo Wool sees them, he says that they are the ones who command the ones they attacked. The masked men then address the children. They say that the lives of the children belong to them and that they are now under their orders. And when one of the children screams and refuses to obey them, one of the ninjas cuts off his head. He kills him on the spot. All the children are shocked. The masked man then says that he did not allow anyone to speak. On the other side, we see the masked men again. He talks about the cursed poisons. They say that when you put several poisonous organisms in a jar, they will kill each other until only the most powerful ones are left. The last survivors carry the most powerful poison, and they are the cursed poisons. Their goal was to do the same with the children. Only those with the strongest survival instinct survived. They say that the most impressive among the children is undoubtedly So Yoel. Their goal is to break her, right now, so that she will not be a problem in the future. They also talk about the only survivor of the first sector. They say that the first sector is the one where there was the least food and the worst conditions. If Pyo will survive there, he is not an ordinary person. The masked man then says that he stays for 6 years, and we see in the confidential message he received that he has to accomplish an assassination mission. 1 year has already passed because he was 7 years old at the beginning. His reward is 500,000 gold coins, and he must not leave any trace of the Blood Phantom organization. What is this mysterious Blood Phantom organization? What powers has Pyo Wool developed since the snake bite? How does he plan to take his revenge? We'll see in the next video. By the way, if you liked the video, tell me in the comments, and subscribe to not miss the next episodes that are coming soon.